meeting for Thursday, November 21st, 2024, and it is 1 p.m. Yesterday, we had a lunch at the Agua Caliente celebrating our public safety people in this desert, our peace officers, law enforcement officers, our EMT personnel, and our CAL FIRE personnel. And so today, to lead us in our flag salute, I will ask from CAL FIRE Matt Kotz and from the Sheriff's Department, Kyle Abanicius, to come and please lead us in our flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, guys. And would the city clerk please take the roll?
Councilmember Fromberg Edelstein?
Here.
Councilmember Mulatto?
Here.
Councilmember O'Keefe?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Weil?
Here.
Mayor Downs?
I am here. So today we are welcoming a new member to this city council. She reflects a new generation of leadership on this city council. So last Thursday, we certainly had 10 excellent candidates to select from to appoint someone to fill the remainder of a vacant term on the city council. She comes to us with a great resume. Even though she represents a new generation of service on this council, she certainly has a long and a good resume, a resume that says that she will do a great job in the city council. So I would ask all of you to please join me in a very warm Rancho Mirage welcome to Eve Fromberg Edelstein. Okay, next is a presentation. This is a presentation of a proclamation recognizing the Friends of Musical Theater of Del Webb. And to introduce this presentation, I will ask Michael O'Keefe to tell us about the Del Webb Rancho Mirage Musical Theater Club.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. I moved into Del Webb about 6 years ago. And the thing I like about being at Del Webb is so many activities and clubs and organizations. And one called thrill or dance or act, but I love musical theater. And I thought we'd have a small little group that would put on some cute shows. I was wrong. Del Webb attracts people from all over the world who are very successful in their careers, and they've chosen Rancho Mirage as their home. And that is definitely true about the Del Webb Rancho Mirage Friends of Musical Theater group. We have folks with major careers in theater, including Broadway and beyond. And when they put on a production, it's a big deal. That's why they were just the winners of many Desert Star Awards from the Desert Theater League that views and judges theater of all kinds across the Coachella Valley and Inland Empire. So this is a huge accomplishment, not only for Del Webb, but also for Rancho Mirage and the entire Coachella Valley. So Councilmember Mulatto and I would like to recognize this major accomplishment of our neighbors and friends. And now I'll turn this back over to you, Mayor Downs.
Okay, thank you, Michael. What I'm going to do is I will ask Matt Comerford from the Musical Theater Club to join me down here along with Michael O'Keefe and Councilmember Mulatto to present this proclamation to you. Okay, so in part, this proclamation reads that honoring the Del Webb Rancho Mirage Friends of Musical Theater Charter Club, whereas the mission of the Del Webb Rancho Mirage Friends of Musical Theater Charter Club is to provide, promote, and perform musical theater to the Del Webb Rancho Mirage community and their guests, enriching the cultural fabric of the region and bringing the joy of live theater to all who participate and attend. and whereas the Del Webb Rancho Mirage Friends of Musical Theater Charter Club in just a short time has become a vital part of the local arts scene, inspiring and delighting audiences with their talent, creativity, and dedication to the performing arts. And whereas the following individuals and productions were recognized with Desert Star Awards for their excellence and contribution to the arts. Best Writing Award went to Michael Reno, Gwendolyn Coleman, and Jeffrey Adair. Best Director of a Cabaret Review went to Jeffrey Adair. Best Musical Director of a Cabaret Review went to Michael Reno. Best Choreographer of a Cabaret Review went to Jeffrey Adair. Best Lead Male Performer in a Cabaret Review went to Brad Seipel. I hope we're pronouncing that right, Brad. Best Supporting Male Performer of a Cabaret Review went to Brian Abelgarth. And the Best Props Professional went to Michael Reno and Jeffrey Adair. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Steve Downs, Mayor of the City of Rancho Mirage, California, and on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby congratulate Del Webb Rancho Mirage Friends of Musical Theater Charter Club. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Rancho Mirage to be affixed this November 21st of 2024. Congratulations. Okay, next we will have non-agenda public comments. This is an opportunity for members of the public to come to the podium to speak about non-agenda issues. If you wish to speak about an agenda topic, please wait until that agenda topic is called, and you will have an opportunity to comment when it is called. Please be mindful that we ask you to limit your comments to no more than 3 minutes. And please forgive me if you do reach your 3-minute limit, and I ask you to conclude your comments. And I will ask the city clerk to please handle non-agenda public comment today.
The first speaker is Wally Melendez.
Good afternoon, City Council, Administration of Rancho Mirage. Thank you for this opportunity to address the audience here and everybody present. So, to continue my conversation on education, it would be nice, in my view, that Rancho Mirage would have a university, not a big one, but certain subjects could be taught to people. For example, like the electoral college to elect the president of the United States, civics, how the city government works, global warming, pollution, important subjects that a university could teach. Of course, I understand that a university has to comply with the state regulations. Somebody said, I don't know if it was an old Greek guy or somebody that from the revolutionary days when the Americans were fighting the British for independence, somebody said about our republic that you need eternal vigilance to keep it. I still have I still have confidence that Vice President Harris will attain a recount of the votes for the president. And so So we are worried, or should be worried, about Musk, Trump, and Putin. And right now we still have our checks and balances, but remember that Trump does not respect the Constitution. So I just got 26 left more. I want to leave you with these words. So-called win is fake. So his election, FYI, you know what that is? DOA. Remember that.
Thank you, Wally.
Patrick Lowry.
Good afternoon. Patrick Laurie, a 21-year resident of Rancho Mirage, a city that I care for very much and intend to do the best I can to protect it. Welcome to the new member. One thing interested me in your earlier comments. New generation, I don't exactly know what that means. I'm 77. I consider myself a new generation every day I get up. Okay? Now, one thing, I've run businesses. I guess I've been successful. One thing is very important. I don't call this an appointment. That's not personal to you. It's a hire. I'm not happy with a hire. Not you, but the concept of a hire, because you took away my choice for representation. Now, one thing is important about a hire. You should have what you don't have when you hire. That's what you do. You hire what you don't have. So I hope you fill that void of what we don't have. And that is somebody who speaks up, is forward in their thinking, doesn't sit back and say, just another day. We're involved with hyper-growth. I'm not happy with hyper-growth in Rancho Mirage. Now, the election told us something. This community is nearly split in half between not wanting you here and wanting you here. I find that kind of remarkable. And maybe it's a good message to you. There are a lot of voices in this community you're not listening to or caring about. Let's start doing that. Now, we have our sheriff here, tremendous people, wonderful people. Let's get them on our streets. We have a contract, 93 hours a day, 19 vehicles. I don't know how you parcel that out, but let's get them on our streets because we don't see them. Fire department, fantastic. Saved my life twice. How many people have that great honor of dealing with the fire department? Okay? Still here at 77. And like they say, I'll live forever because so far, so good. So let's sharpen up things, eh? Let's get better at what we do. Let's see what you can do to lead this council so it thinks better, works harder, and cares about its community. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate your time, and I appreciate this city.
Brad Anderson.
Good afternoon, Brad Anderson. Currently live in the city of Rancho Mirage, and I wanted to speak on a few items. I'll keep it brief, hopefully. I appreciate earlier presentation, but also I'm just before where we have presentations or something comes forward to the city council, and there's really no transparency of how it got here. Now, my understanding of California best practices would be that two council members I want to say concluded or agreed on bringing forward some type of presentation for the city. So if that could be maybe spoken about early on within the city council or the city manager's comments, that would be appreciated. And I voiced the previous speaker's comments, or I guess I echo those, that the city council have given or taken a majority of the residents' voices away from them by selecting, welcome by the way, appointment over a fair election for a city council seat. And that's kind of unforgivable as far as I'm concerned. And I don't think the city council will change this policy, or not policy, but yeah, policy, I guess, because it's been going on for a number of years. But definitely there will be, I'm not going to threaten legal harassment, but there will be external forces looking at this city, and it has been already. So I think you need to correct your course of action of how you operate this city. And there was conflicts of interest. That's why the last city council, or conflict policy, and that's why the last city council person abruptly left her seat. I did write some public comments for this topic and other topics, so hopefully people from the city can look at those. That would detail my comments further and with more detail than what I'm saying today. But when I originally read the conflict interest policy, I thought it was directed at the real estate people on the council, 3 of them, and not her business interests. The last city council member, because I remember when she came in and she was speaking, and I thought, oh, that's great, but she's got to be careful because there are conflicts of interest. You know, just the other day, Mr. Downs and his ship with real estate in the valley. So I would tread lightly when you speak about conflicts, because I think everybody's kind of on the fence on that, and I'm going to leave it on other items today. Thank you.
That was the last speaker card. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to speak on something not on today's agenda? That was the last speaker.
Thank you, Christy. We will now go to council board member comments. I will start from my right and go to my left today, so I will begin with Council Member Mulatto.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, a warm welcome to Eve Fromberg Edelstein. She is a well-qualified individual, and it's nice to have a woman on the dais with me. Not that I would have been disappointed if we had someone else, but I've been surrounded by gentlemen during my tenure here, but I do appreciate a nice balance. The second thing I'd like to say is yesterday the council members and staff had the opportunity to attend the Public Safety Luncheon, Awards Luncheon that Mayor Downs alluded to earlier. And congratulations to all of our public safety firefighters, sheriff's deputies for their many awards. We're so proud of you, and public safety is one of the top priorities of our city. And your execution of duty shows that, and we're most grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Mayor Pro Tem Weil.
Thank you, Mayor. I, too, will welcome the newest member to our council, Eve Fromberg Edelstein, and I know that she will make an excellent contribution to the council, so we welcome you. I, too, also want to commend the Peace Officer Public Safety Award luncheon that we attended yesterday. We can't salute you enough for the job that you do. It was an honor to be there, and again, thank you every day for your service. I'd also like to say how pleased I am to announce that we launched the Rancho Mirage Community Gift Card yesterday. The timing could not be better because here we are approaching the holidays, first Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and what a great time to use the gift card to your advantage to, again, share with family and friends. This is a fantastic economic development platform that directs money toward our local businesses. Again, the lifeblood of a city. My colleagues and I approved a $50,000 bonus incentive. For example, you purchase a $50, $100, or $200 gift card and receive a 50% bonus card on your purchase. For example, that's an extra $100 on a $200 purchase. Nearly 30 Rancho Mirage-based businesses have already joined, and more are joining daily. Get rewarded this holiday season for spending local. Visit, and again, make a note of this, visit shoplocalrm.com. I repeat, visit shoplocalrm.com to buy your gift card today. And I will now ask, please watch the screens for our recent commercial, if you would, Josh.
Support small business with the new Rancho Mirage Community Gift Card. From restaurants to retail, every dollar spent stays in our community. Buy a digital card online at shoplocalrm.com. And during special incentive periods, enjoy extra funds added to each gift card by the city. Buy your card now and keep your money where your heart is.
And indeed, our heart is with the local businesses. So please take advantage of it. I know that we are, and it's a great opportunity, and the city is just pleased to be able to add a $50,000 bonus incentive. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilmember O'Keefe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too would like to welcome Councilmember Fromberg Edelstein, and I look forward to working with you. I would also like to tell everyone I had the privilege of attending a presentation by CSO Kyle Albanese yesterday to a group of HOA residents about crime prevention. He's very professional and very thorough about the ways to protect your home, your street, and your neighborhood. He told us about a couple of programs that the Sheriff's Department offers, including the SEPTED program, where officers will actually come to your home, assess your home for weaknesses that you might want to address, which is, I didn't know about. It's a very wonderful program. They also have a program where if you have an outside camera at your home, you can register it with the Sheriff's Department. They cannot access the contents of your camera, but what they do is they have a registration where you could help solve crimes if there's suspicious activity around your house by letting them know that you have the camera that might provide help in solving crimes. So if you're interested in crime prevention, I highly recommend that you contact CSO Albanesius at the Sheriff's Department or go to the Riverside Sheriff's Department website to get registered. It's a great program, and Kyle has assured me that he talks to HOAs and organizations all over our city. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Michael. Now, I know you haven't had a lot of time to get prepared for council comments, but our new council member, Eve Fromberg Edelstein, do you have anything for us today?
I just would like to say again, thank you for your belief in me and your votes of confidence. I am excited to learn and to lead. And I love Rancho Mirage, and I only hope to make it a better place to be, because I know I'm very, very happy to be here, and my family is as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Eve, and welcome again.
Thank you.
So this is my last full council meeting as mayor. At our next council meeting in December 5th, we will have our regular annual rotation, and Ted Weil will sit in this seat during the course of that meeting. So what I wanted to do for a couple of minutes today is not a retrospective on my past year as mayor. I wanted to reflect more on future. I wanted to talk a little bit about how the recent election to city council and the unusual drama associated with a council resignation, and then the energy surrounding an appointment, how that relates to the future. First, the election. So there were clear odds in this election. Those opposition candidates, I don't think, could have been more negative about this city and about this council. I don't think that's arguable. There were two incumbents, and the incumbents won this city. And the reasons why we should look to the future with someone who came to the microphone just a short time ago and talked about how things seem to be equally divided in this city. I don't think they are at all. I think what we saw in the last election were three candidates who spoke clearly and decisively about the future of this city. And those three candidates collected 68% of the votes that were cast in this city. The two negative candidates collected 32%, a 2-to-1 margin. Not an even distribution, a 2-to-1 margin. It's also the case that the two incumbents who won re-election, Michael O'Keefe, he was the largest vote getter in the last election. So the number one vote getter among the opposition candidates received 70% less votes. Michael outscored him by 70% at the ballot box. and Ted outscored him by 60% at the ballot box. That's not an equal division among the voters. That is a clear message to this city council. And at this podium last Thursday, 10 extremely well-qualified applicants, 10 able, qualified people who were well able to do the job of service on this city council. And every single one of them came to this podium and talked about good governance. They talked about solid fiscal management. They talked about a positive and a progressive future for this city. Now, we did, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, select a newer generation of leadership to join with us in Eve Fromberg Edelstein. However, as I also mentioned a few minutes ago, she is well qualified to serve on this city council. So what does all this mean for the future of Rancho Mirage? What it means is the Rancho Mirage public believes in the Rancho Mirage future. And the Rancho Mirage public believes in the leadership of this council. The public believes in our commitment to good governance, our commitment to fiscal responsibility, our commitment to deliver the best approach to public safety that we can possibly deliver to the residents of this city. The public believes in our approach to delivering the best city planning and the best approach to public works that we can possibly deliver to our residents. And the people in this city believe that this council is, in fact, dedicated to delivering the best set of services and amenities that we can deliver to the people in this city. So I start this next year in my job as a council member as opposed to mayor. I start this next year looking forward to working with my colleagues because I am energized. I think the public sent us a clear message, and I think we added a council member who also delivered a clear message in her comments last week. I am energized. I am enthusiastic about working together with my council colleagues for the next year and addressing the couple of issues that face us in the coming weeks and the coming years that are so important to this city, things like economic development and affordable housing. I can't wait to get started, and thank you very much for letting me talk about what I think about the future of this city. We will now move on. That concludes council member comments. We'll go on to city manager comments, and would you go right into the consent calendar?
Yeah, no comments today, Mr. Mayor. Members of the council, you have 4 items on the consent calendar for consideration. Item number 1 is to approve the November 7th, 2024 regular meeting minutes. Item number 2 is to approve the final acceptance of CP 22-378 demolition of properties located on Sunrise Court. Item number 3 are contracts, and item number 4 are demands. Before we go to council comments or questions, I'll ask the city clerk to take public comment on the consent calendar.
Thank you. Brad Anderson?
Great, thank you again, Brad Anderson, City of Rancho Mirage. I wanted to speak on consent items number 1 and 2 today, and thank you for your speech. Number 1 is just approval of the November 7th regular meeting minutes of the City Council. It was placed under a separate cover as the agenda. It wasn't included in the original agenda for the meeting, which is supposed to be posted, was posted far in advance of the 72-hour limit or time frame imposed by the state of California. But I guess my main avenue, this has been not an ongoing thing, but occasional activity of the city clerk, or I can't say the city clerk, or city officials to place stuff, place items or documents later than the posted agenda. And I feel, this is just my opinion, that it's probably a way to censor material that was released earlier that people didn't have the good fortune of watching live on TV or being here in person. And I'm going to go to item 2. And this took a little research to find all this information. And this is concerning the completion of a demolition, emergency demolition of a property with located on Sunrise Court in the city of Rancho Mirage. And I found it, the only thing that drew my attention to it was it didn't have the address or the parcel number or the Riverside County parcel number for that. And so I did research and find out, and then also why I was looking at that, it appeared that areas around that property are also being purchased by the city of Rancho Mirage, and I'm unaware of why that's taking place. So if the city council would feel enlightened to enlighten the citizens why you're buying big swaths of property in the city, for what purpose and why, that would be great. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Those were the only speaker cards. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on an item on the consent calendar? That was the only speaker.
Thank you, Christie. Do I have any council member comments on the consent calendar? Seeing none, may I have a motion and a second, please?
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Christie. We will now move on to public hearings. The first item on our public hearings is agenda item number 5. The subject of this agenda item is resolution adopting sidewalk vending permits, street vending permits, and self-haul weekly reporting review fees. And to deliver the staff report is financial analyst Jacob Dela Cruz. Jacob?
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, Council. Senate Bill 946, also known as the Safe Sidewalk Vending Act, decriminalized sidewalk vending in the state of California. Under SB 946, municipalities may require vendors to have a permit and establish fees related to the cost of processing and enforcement. With the assistance of an outside consultant, the fees for the sidewalk and street vending permits were determined to be $400 and $240 respectively, but have been reduced to $300 and $180 in an attempt to keep the fees more in line with existing fees and not be too cost prohibitive. These fees would capture 75% of the total cost to the city. Senate Bill 1383 sets a goal of reducing organics waste landfill disposal by 75% by 2025. BIRTEC must follow specific requirements such as proper sorting as well as submitting monthly reports. To manage and verify compliance with self-hauler regulations, city staff will need to dedicate time to reviewing monthly reports, ensuring proper record keeping, conducting follow-ups, and offering technical assistance where needed. Given the added administrative burden, a self-hauler weekly reporting review fee of $56 per report will be charged to cover the costs associated with these tasks. If approved, the new fees would go into effect immediately. Staff recommends approval, and that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Joseph. We will go to public comments, and would the city clerk please handle public comments?
Thank you. Now is the time for public testimony on public hearing item number 5. Our first speaker is Brad Anderson.
Thank you again, Brad Anderson. Currently live in the city. I wanted to speak on this public hearing item. That's very good staff report. I read through the staff report, but I didn't get to 56. I thought it was $36 for the self-hauling weekly reporting fees. I'm opposed to the city increasing or impacting citizens with these unnecessary fees. I understand the city wants to collect 100%. And then I heard 75%, maybe that's prior to this, SB, 1383? This killer. I mean, I've gone through so many presentations about that, and it's just poor governance, really, when you get down to it. But I think the self-hauling weekly reporting review fees for self-hauling people that don't participate with BIRTEC and the city of Rancho Mirage is excessive. I don't really understand how the gardening business, people's landscape firms, and how they comply with this. So I think Palm Desert, of course, they have their taxes, their waste fees on their property taxes, which is a crime. But anyway, that's my opinion. But it's illegal for other companies, to any companies, to work within that city to haul waste away from personal or residential properties. So I understand the premise of this. I think it's excessive, and I know you installed SB 1383, I believe, way in advance of even the county. The county, I don't think, is fully involved in that program yet. So the citizens have taken on Citizens of Rancho Mirage has taken on a big expense far in advance of when they had to. So I'm opposed to this, and that's all I have. Thank you.
That was the only speaker card. Is there anyone else who would like to speak regarding this item? And that was the only speaker.
Thank you, Christie. Do I have any council member comments on this item? Seeing none, may I have a motion and a second, please?
I'd be happy to make the motion that the City Council adopt resolution number 2024 next in order, adopting various users and regulatory fees for sidewalk vending permits, street vending permits, and self-haul weekly reporting review fees.
I'll second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Christie. The next public hearing is agenda item number 6. The subject of this agenda item is a public hearing to consider the issuance of tax-exempt bonds by the California Public Finance Authority in support of financing certain of Hazelton Betty Ford Foundation's healthcare facilities. And to deliver the staff report is Director of Administrative Services, Kofi Antobam. Kofi?
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, Council. So this item before you is to hold a public hearing to help the Hazelton Betty Ford Foundation issue tax-exempt bonds through the California Public Finance Authority. This hearing is required under the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act of 1982, commonly referred to as TEFRA. In order for the California Public Finance Authority to issue tax-exempt bonds on behalf of the Betty Ford Foundation, the city of Rancho Mirage, serving as the governmental entity with jurisdiction over where the bond proceeds are going to be used, is required to hold a public hearing to provide members of the community an opportunity to speak on this item. The advantage of the Betty Ford Foundation issuing tax-exempt bonds through the California Public Finance Authority is that it lowers their cost of debt, which saves them money. And so this action before you today is to approve issuance of new debt not to exceed $45 million to finance the costs of acquisition, construction, equipping, and improvement of certain healthcare facilities on the Betty Ford campus. The bonds to be issued are the sole responsibility of the foundation, and the city of Rancho Mirage will have no financial, legal, moral obligation, liability, or responsibility for the bonds in any manner.
Sorry, Kofi, I didn't hear that. Can you say that one more time?
So these bonds are not the responsibility of the city. They are the sole responsibility of the Betty Ford Foundation. They will be liable or responsible for repaying these bonds. So outside of conducting this public hearing and adopting the attached resolution, there are no further involvement on behalf of the city of Rancho Mirage. And so staff recommends that the City Council conducts the public hearing and that the council approves the attached resolution. That concludes my presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Kofi. And I will ask the city clerk to please handle public comment.
Thank you. So now is the appropriate time for public testimony on public hearing item number 6. I did receive one speaker card from Brad Anderson.
Thank you once again, Brad Anderson, City of Rancho Mirage. Item 6, this is concerning what the staff report. I have submitted written comments for everything I'm speaking about today, so please look at those and contact me if you'd like to. But this is one item I was just hoping the staff report would detail further, and they did. They did an excellent job. I think the main, of course, I'm speculating the main purpose of the entity that oversees the area of the Betty Ford Clinic, which is the city of Rancho Mirage, to have a public hearing, to hear input from the public, which I'm the only person today that's going to do that, but is because of the liabilities that institutions may have if they somehow renege on their obligations. And that's the only reason I could see why we would have a public hearing today. So, and I don't foresee that happening. So, and that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak on this item? No additional speakers.
Thank you, Christy. Do I have any council comments on this item? The Hazelton Betty Ford Clinic does a remarkable job for this city and for the public. Thank you for being here today. Appreciate it. And this is something that we are very delighted to do to help Hazelton Betty Ford expand and deliver better services to the public. So I am delighted to vote yes on this today, and I will ask for a motion in a second.
I'll be happy to make that motion, Mayor. We were pleased to be able to be present at the Betty Ford ceremony not too long ago. Outstanding event. And as far as I'm concerned, I too look forward to voting and approval of this bond measure. With that, Mayor, I will make a motion that the City Council conduct a public hearing under the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act of 1982 and the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, as amended, and the related Treasury regulations on the proposed issuance of tax-exempt bonds by the California Public Finance Authority, and B, adopt resolution number 2024 next in order, approving the issuance by the California Public Finance Authority of tax-exempt revenue bonds for the purpose of financing the acquisition, construction, equipping, and improvement of certain facilities for the benefit of Hazelton Betty Ford Foundation.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Christy. We will now move on to the action calendar. There is one item on the action calendar today. It is agenda item number 7. The subject of this item is a memorandum of understanding between the City of Rancho Mirage and the Rancho Mirage Employees Association, and Director of Administrative Services, Kofi Antobaum, will again deliver the staff report. Kofi?
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, Council, again. Attached to the staff report is a full copy of the Memorandum of Understanding that summarizes the terms that were agreed to by the Rancho Mirage Employees Association and the city. It is a proposed 3-year agreement that will expire on December 31, 2027. The current MOU expires on December 31st of 2024 this year. Negotiations with the Rancho Mirage Employee Association started in September of 2024, and the provisions that were negotiated was approved by the majority of their membership earlier this month, resulting in the proposed MOU that is before the Council today for consideration. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the MOU between the City of Rancho Mirage and the Rancho Mirage Employee Association and authorize the Mayor and City Manager to execute that agreement on behalf of the city. That concludes my presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Kofi. I will ask the city clerk to please ask for public comment.
Thank you. I received one speaker card from Marcus Aleman.
Good afternoon, City Council, City staff, and residents. I am Marcus Aleman, Chair of the Rancho Mirage Employees Association. Before I begin, I would like to congratulate Councilmember Fromberg Edelstein for her appointment to the City Council. The city staff looks forward to working with you. I am here today on behalf of the Rancho Mirage Employees Association to thank you for your collaborative efforts during the employee salary and benefits negotiation process. Your commitment to open communication, fairness ensured a smooth and productive outcome that reflects the shared values of our community. We deeply appreciate your dedication to supporting both our city staff and the city as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Thank you again, Brad Anderson, City of Rancho Mirage, item number 7, MOU with the Employment Association for the City of Rancho Mirage. I just wanted to, I was recounting my memory of this, and when the City Council was really fighting not to have this organization established in the city, and which they have, and I guess allowed people to have a better standard of living and maybe job security. Of course, I've seen some issues in the city where that's not true, but I'm all in favor of people are getting paid a fair wage and maybe have the ability to live within the city they work. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak? That was the last speaker.
Thank you, Christy. Do I have any council comments on this item? The comment that I have is that, here on this council, we walk a fine line. The line is to make sure that we are fiscally responsible, that we handle our budgets correctly, and that we are fair-minded to the people of the city when they spend their money on their tax dollars and they fund this city. And it's also the case that we have an obligation to the employees to make sure that we deliver a great place to work and we treat them and compensate them fairly. And I believe this does that. So I do believe that we've come up with a memorandum of understanding that is fair and equitable to the employees. I think we have a great group of employees in this city, and I'm delighted to vote yes on this item today. May I have a motion and a second, please?
That the City Council approve the memorandum of understanding between the City of Rancho Mirage and the Rancho Mirage Employees Association.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second, please vote.
Sorry, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Christy. I'm about to recess into closed session. Before I do, I will ask the city attorney to please reference what we will be discussing in closed session today.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll be convening in a closed session for the item before you on the agenda. This item being conference with legal counsel, potential initial of litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D4, one potential case.
Thank you, Colin. I'm sorry. Oh, do we have public comment in closed session? Brad, I
Yes.
think you might have
Brad
something you want to say.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done bothering you. A little off script on number 7, but I just wanted to speak again on closed session topics. I know this is a potential initiation of litigation. I think when I go through the reports of the city, I think it was $67,000 to the city attorney's firm, but also they bill in odd manners, so it's really. It could be 2 months, could be 1 month, could be 2 weeks. It's hard to say. So this type of issue, I wish it would end because we have no closure when these things happen. We have no input of what happened or when it happened. I've been over the Palm Springs courthouse with litigation with the city brought against homeowners in the city. There's nothing in the agenda reports concerning those items. And this is a common occurrence, especially with short-term renters. This is an issue. So more transparency, I'm going to use that word from now on, is needed. So that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other comments on closed session? Okay, we are recessed into closed session. We are back in session for the City Council meeting for November 21st of 2024. Before we adjourn the meeting, I will ask the city attorney to please advise the public on closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. No reportable action taken today.
Thank you, Colin. This meeting is adjourned.